Welcome to Exec Class Up. I remember myself, Barrister Olakule Badmus. Then I'm here to take a topic called forms of government. So let me start from the introduction of form of government. In UTME and SSC question, you always have about 15 or 10 questions from there under forms of government. But forms of government is different from system of government and also different from tiers of government. But here today, we are looking at the forms of government. What are the tiers of government? Tiers of government refer to what? We have federal, we have states, and we have what? Local. That is tiers of government. When we talk of system of government refer to what? Federal, we have federalism, we have unitary system of government, and we have what? Confederalism. These are the topic under system of what? Of government. Under the forms of government, we have about 6 or 7 topics under that. Let me start from the first topic here, which you know very well. The first topic under form of government, we have what they call what? Monarchy. What is monarchy? Monarchy is oldest form of government. 2012 question number 14. Go and check that question very well. What are the oldest forms of government? That's monarchy. But people believe that oldest form of government is democracy. Although democracy is part of forms of government, but it's not the same thing. Monarchy is oldest. Why? Because it refers to what? King or what? Queen. King or what? Queen. That is, when we talk of monarchy in government, simply means a form of government. It is a form of government. It's a form of government whereby king or what? Queen rule the states. King or queen rule the what? States. But in UTME, it's beyond that. Some people don't know it's beyond king or queen. For example, we have a state in Africa whereby they are not using king, they are not using queen, but they are using what? Emperor. It's still part of what? Monarchy. They call it emperor. Why some people, instead of them using king or what? Queen, in your past question, what? Bello what? Bello no fence. That's the same thing about forms of government. So form of government is a form of government whereby the king or queen are the ends of affair. A good example of country that practice monarchy here is what we can see what Britain. Thank God that Britain is not using king again. Britain is using king rather. Before they used queen, but now they have changed to king. So they are monarchy. They are monarchical form of what? Of government. A good example of country also that use what? Monarchy in Africa here, we have what? We have Morocco. We have Morocco. Presently today, Morocco is still practicing monarchy. Their king is what? King what? King Mohammed IV. That's their king now, presently now. They also in Africa here, then Egypt use monarchy. Egypt. But now Egypt has stopped using what class? King. Egypt is using what? President. They don't use king again. So it's a form of government whereby queen or king are the ends of affair. That is monarchy. Question always come out from here every year. Another example of country that's practice monarchy is what class? We have Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia also use what? Monarchy. We have 2 types of monarchy. We have what? We have absolute. We have absolute monarchy, and then we have what? We have constitutional monarchy. These are the 2 types of monarchy. Constitutional monarchy. When we talk of absolute monarchy here, that is the king or queen is above the law. That's the meaning of that. That is, it can never be questionable. It's unchallengeable. Then, in the olden days, majority of the country practice what they call what? Absolute monarchy. A good example of country that practice absolute monarchy in Africa was this man, Emperor Selassie of what? Of Ethiopia. He practiced what class? Absolute monarchy. He has the final say. He has the final decision. Anything he says what is final. That's what they call absolute monarchy. You tell me question 10 questions, they ask that question number 4. Example of country that use what? Absolute monarchy in Africa. You see this man, Emperor Selassie. And don't forget that Emperor Selassie is one that initiated the formation of what? OAU in Africa. That's Organization of African Unity. These are the key things you need to know about what? Monarchy. Then when we now talk of constitutional monarchy means what? It's subject to the constitution. It's not above the law of the land. Anything it says is not the final. It can be questionable. For example, in UK, that's United Kingdom, there is what class? Queen do no wrong. They use that in UK. Queen do no wrong. Not that queen is above the law of the land. It can be questionable. That's what they say. They use what they call what class? Constitutional what class? Monarchy. It's not above the law of the land. This is what they call what? Monarchical forms of what? Of government. What are the characteristics of monarchy? Monarchy simply means what? Rule. Rule by the what? By the what? By the king or what? Or queen. This is what you need to see there. If you don't see this one, I told you last, you see what? Emperor. Somebody has a question. I can remember very well. As Nigerian practice monarchy, yes. When Nigeria became independent in 1960. In 1960 in Nigeria to 1963 in Nigeria, we used what? We used this system of government We use parliamentary monarchical system of government. Parliamentary monarchical system of government. Why? In 1960, our head of state in Nigeria was still Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth was the head of state in Nigeria. But Queen of England cannot stay in England and also come to Nigeria. But he has to put somebody there to represent her. Who is that person? The person that put there to represent her was who class? Nnamdi Azikiwe, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. And Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was called Governor General. That is, he represents the Queen of England. Am I speaking? Are you getting it? So in 1960, when Nigeria became independent, we are still under monarchical form of government. When Britain give independence, they will still use, their queen will still rule you. So then we stopped using monarchy in Nigeria, which in 1963. That's why this governor general stopped in Nigeria. And not only that, in 1963, Queen Elizabeth, 2001 question, ceased to be what? To be what? Head of state in Nigeria. Ceased to be head of state in Nigeria. That's when he stopped to be head of state in Nigeria. Then in 1963 to 1966, what happened there? We now use what? Parliamentary, are you with me? Parliamentary Republican system of government. We started using what class? President. And who is your first president there? Nnamdi what? Azikiwe. Number one, I mentioned the word class. It is headed by what? By king or what? Or queen. Don't forget. And I said we don't see that in your exam. You see monarch. Monarch refer to king or queen. Emperor, you see all those ones there. King, queen, emperor, governor, general. Then not only that, under the forms of government, please, you tell me question. They asked that question last 2 years. It is based on what? It is based on what? On hereditary. Please don't forget that. It is based on hereditary. That is to say, they don't elect queen or king. They don't elect monarch. Monarch comes to power through what? Hereditary. What is hereditary? From one generation to what? Another generation. That's what they mean by what? Hereditary. So not that you now look at president. President is elected, fine. We are still going to look at that. Under Republican government, it's elected. But here it's not elected. They what? They come to power through what? Hereditary. That's what they call what? That's what they call hereditary. Another thing I want you to get from here that is very, very important. The monarch stay in power until he or she what? He or she will class die. Not that you can remove him. Look at Queen Elizabeth too. It's when she died before the son took over what? Power. So you don't remove them. Not like king, not like president, rather. President will stay there for 5th term. Yes, in a country like Nigeria, president will only rule Nigeria at minimum of what? Maximum of what? 8 years, 4 years, and another 10. That's 8 years. But in the constitution says that what? The president stayed in office for 5th term. But here he stayed there, he can rule for 82 years, he can rule for 90 years until she will die. And I told you, this thing has been stopped in what? In Egypt. Before, Egypt used king. But now they are now practicing what? They are now using presidential system of government. They are not using monarchy. So we still have another topic under this form of government, which are many here. Please, we have this one too. We have what they call what? Aristocracy. You cannot escape that question in your exam. Aristocracy is still part of form of government. Aristocracy. What is aristocracy in government? It's a form of government. See what I put there? It's a form of government whereby gifted people, if you don't see gifted people in your exam, you see what? Elites. You see elite. And if you don't see elite, see what class? Best citizen rule the state. That's answer to what? To what? Aristocracy. Best citizen rule the state. And this was propounded by who? Aristotle. 2004 question, 2007 question, best citizen, elite, gifted people. Anywhere you see your exam, that's the answer. That's what they call what? Aristocracy. Please don't forget, under aristocracy, we also have forms of aristocracy, which is very, very important. We have another one here. We have what they call what? Oligarchy. What is oligarchy? See, students, answer to this one is very simple. You see what? It's a form of government whereby few people rule the state for what? For selfish interest. Whereby few people rule the state for selfish interest. You tell me question and SSC question. Please, who has answer to that? Don't stress yourself. Anytime you see what class selfish in your exam, Or you see what class few people, you go for oligarchy. These are the key things you need to know. That's what they call oligarchy. They are only there for their own selfish interest. They don't know that people are suffering or not. But I know JAMB will never ask you that. Who is that person in Africa or in Nigeria that practice that? JAMB will never ask you that. We have this one too. There are forms of government. Theocracy. What is theocracy? It's a form of government. It's a form of government whereby religious leader rule the states. Please, if you don't see this in your exam, anytime you see what in your exam, cleric, it refer to what? Theocracy in government. Theocracy in government. It refer to theocracy. That's leader by the what? By the priest or imam. A good example of country that is theocracy here, you can see that here, Saudi Arabia. Not only that, another good example of country that you see in your JAMB is what class? Vatican City in Rome. They use what they call theocracy, whereby their leader is what? Priest. Has Nigeria practiced this thing before? No, they have never practiced it, and JAMB can never ask you. I just want to put your notice, the first pastor to contest for presidential post in Nigeria, I can call it theocracy, but it no win. Who's that person? Kote from Fresh Party in 1999. You get it now? Fresh Party. So you can say now that's what they call theocracy in government, a form of government whereby priests, religious leaders are the ends of affairs. So when you see cleric, you see this one, you go for what? Theocracy in government. Am I talking? We have another one here. We have this too, generotocracy. Do you know something that what is their class? What is the common thing there? Crazy. You can see crazy. I don't want to talk about that class. Generotocracy is a form of government. Whereby elderly people or old people are the ends of affairs. Elderly people or old people are the ends of affairs. That's what they call gerontocracy. Government by the old. See, this thing has a code. It's just a short code. Anything you see old, you don't need to try it. You go to what? Gerontocracy. Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you can see very is old man. We can call that gerontocracy. Then they also ask that question to which of the countries that practice? Republic of China. Their president is old. They also in pre-colonial system of government. One of the characteristics of the Igbo pre-colonial system of government, that's topic we are still on. Then we also have these two. We have this one too. We have plutocracy. Don't forget that crazy is common there. Plutocracy under form of government. What is plutocracy in government? Plutocracy simply means a form of government. Is a form of government whereby wealthy people or rich people, or you see this one, or noble rule the state. Are you getting me? What's another name for this thing? That's nobility. That's another name for this thing. It's called what? Nobility. So anytime you see nobility in your exam, you go for plutocracy. It's a form of government where wealthy people, rich people rule the state. But there are some textbooks that say, well, class, aristocracy is the same thing as well, class. Government by the rich. No, from JAMB is different. Plutocracy in government means what? Government by the rich. Government by the what? By the rich people or wealthy people. That's plutocracy in government. Then we also have these two under the forms of government. Please don't forget, we have this one today. We have mobocracy. 2010 question, mobocracy is also there. Is a form of government. Whereby a group of people without aims and objectives. Are the aims of affairs. At the end of what? Affairs. That's what they call mobocracy in government. You can see now, what is mob? Mob in English was simply means angry people. That's mob. That's mobocracy. But people always compare mob and what crowd. Crowd is just a group of people. I'm not teaching in English, and I just try to put in there. They're a group of people in church. What do they call them? They are called what? They are called congregation. A group of people that watch football. What do they call them? They are called what? Spectators. Just like that. So when we now talk of mobocracy in government, yes, a group of people without aims and affairs, they don't have any achievement. I can use what? Terrorists for them. Terrorism. For example, now here, Mobocracy here in Nigeria is called what? Boko what? Boko Haram. I can say Boko Haram. Why are they